In this segment, we'll take a detailed look at installing the connecting rod caps on the Detroit Diesel 8V92 TTA marine engine. This step is one of the core procedures in the lower-end rebuild, and it plays a direct role in the engine's stability, lubrication reliability, and long-term operational strength. Before any cap is installed, the connecting rods are inspected for straightness, twist, and bore alignment. Marine engines like the 8V92 operate under heavy continuous load, so the rods must be perfectly true. Any deviation from specification can affect piston travel, bearing wear, and crankshaft balance. Once the rods pass inspection, attention shifts to preparing the bearing shells. The bearing shells are positioned with the locking tabs aligned into their corresponding grooves. These tabs are small, but they are vital. They prevent rotation of the bearing shell during high-load operation. The backside of each bearing shell must be clean and dry, never lubricated, because it needs to seat tightly against the rod and cap to maintain proper crush. With the piston and connecting rod already installed from the top of the block, the rod is guided onto the crankshaft journal. This is done slowly to avoid damaging the bearing surfaces. Once the rod is seated, the cap is fitted. On the 8V92 TTA, the caps are fracture split in a way that ensures they can only mate correctly with their matching rod. The machining marks and identification numbers must line up perfectly, otherwise, the bore shape will distort. The bolts are then lightly tightened by hand to bring the cap into position. From here, the torquing sequence begins. Detroit Diesel specifies that the rod bolts be tightened in progressive stages. This approach allows the bearing shell to conform evenly to the curvature of the crankshaft journal. If torque is applied too quickly or unevenly, the bearing may not seat correctly, creating a risk of hot spots or oil starvation. Once the final torque value is reached, it's essential to rotate the crankshaft manually. Smooth rotation indicates proper clearance and correct installation. Any stiffness or resistance suggests an alignment issue or foreign material between the bearing and the rod. At this stage, builders also check rod side clearance, ensuring that each rod has enough lateral movement to accommodate thermal expansion and oil flow. When all rods and caps are installed, the assembly represents a balanced reciprocating system designed to withstand thousands of combustion cycles per minute.